Hey, eighth graders. I have the wonderful, I guess, luxury and privilege to wrap up our work on logical fallacies. It's going to lead into Animal Farm later on this week and into next week. Um, so we're on our sixth one. So technically, we started out with logical fallacy, right? There's our definition. And then you had all of our logical fallacies after that. Our first one I started with was the either or, and then it was ad hominem, and then we continued from there. So we are now at technically our seventh term that you're taking notes on, and it's the ad nauseam fallacy. Now, here's the cool thing about ad nauseam. Okay, this is our sixth one. It comes from it's created actually an interesting word we use in our English language. So ad nauseam is Latin, and nauseam, you might be familiar with this. It might sound familiar because the word nauseate comes from that word. And if you know anything about nauseate, to nauseate someone or to experience nausea, it's when you vomit. So really, to be nauseated is to make or to feel sick. If I am feeling nauseous, I've got a sort of, as we used to say in my family, a rotten gut, a gurgly tummy, my stomach hurts. I feel like I'm going to throw up. That's nauseate. That's nausea. And so therefore, if you think about this, ad nauseum is something that is going to almost make us sick. And one of the things that we know that makes us sick is repetition. So here's the definition. Ad nauseum fallacy is an argument that simply repeats or restates the same evidence over and over again. Okay, that's how this works, is that it's really just repeat. So that's going to be your definition. Here's an example. Let's say I'm a big movie buff, and I say Avengers Endgame deserved the Oscar for Best Picture. There are other good movies, but none are as good as Endgame. I mean, all the other movies that came out in 2018 stunk compared to Endgame. It's the best movie ever. It got robbed. So I said a lot there, but I didn't ever say anything specific. There's no evidence, right? I just used the same statement. It's the best. Others are the worst. That's the same thing too. I just kept saying it, and I haven't proved anything. I haven't gone into details. And if I leave my argument as this, then I am committing a logical fallacy. I've not said anything. I've proved nothing. Okay? Here's one that's pretty familiar to a lot of you. Ready for this? This is a little dialogue. Teacher, so why do you think you didn't like The Giver? Student, well, because it was boring. Heard that before. Teacher, well, what specifically was boring about it? Student, I don't know. There was just nothing interesting. Teacher, one more try. Can you name one more thing that was boring? Student, the story was boring, Mr. Slaby. Here's where I excuse myself to go vomit because there's nothing said there. Do you know how many times I've had this conversation with students? There's nothing said. That's ad nauseum, right? There's no argument being made here. They might say like, well, I told you I didn't like it. No, you didn't. Just saying it's boring is the only thing stated in this argument. That's ad nauseum. So for today, you got your logical fallacy of ad nauseum. It's an argument that simply repeats or restates the same evidence over and over again. I gave you an example, although at this point, you really should come up with your own. If you really want to learn this, you can copy that, but I really recommend that you come up with your own and be creative. And for the explanation, this one, I'm not going to give you those words. You are going to have to do it. Okay, that's your turn. That's got to be in your notes. So at this point, your work is go to Schoology, click on the, this is actually Tuesday. Oh boy. Tuesday, Feb 2nd, people, folder. Click on the discussion one more time, and in your own words, write an example of the fallacy ad nauseum and post your example in the discussion thread. I challenge you to make it a dialogue. That's up to you if you want to do that. Otherwise, here's your sentence starter. Of course, blank is great. It's great because blank is not nearly as good. Oh, blank is just the best and just way better than blank. Seriously, blank is absolutely amazing. Okay? It could be just fill in the blank, but you could also create your own. I challenge you to come up with your own and make it a dialogue so you can see someone using it. Okay, there we go. that's your work for today. All right. Obviously, check with questions, check with anything you have, because we're coming to the end. We will be doing a quiz on the logical fallacies, all 6 of them, on Thursday. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. There you go.